Still ain't working. Yeah, it is. All right.
Let's move on.
All right, it's working up. It should be. Still not going?
It's on. It's on.
All right.
It's on.
Let's go to Second Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. Right? 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Right? Salakia. Right, for that. Let's bring that up. 2 Corinthians, the second chapter, verse 11. Right? As soon as we get into it, all hell break loose, man. We didn't even finish the introduction through the Spirit. We didn't finish greeting the children of Israel on the Sabbath, man. You know? And we're still going to get into it, but let's read that.
Book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right, you see that? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. Satan's going to come immediately as soon as the word go out. But guess what? The word is still going to go out, man. Regardless of them, whatever Satan has planned out or trying to hinder the word is still going to be made manifest. So as we was going into, shalom to all of the men who may not be out there on the highways and byways, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, fasting, studying, being diligent, and abounding in the work of the Lord, getting the house in order. Shalom to all of the sisters out there, representing the husbands, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, married and unmarried, being diligent and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom, shalom.
Shabbat shalom to Israel watching abroad and in Babylon, the great man. All praise to the Most High for another Sabbath service of getting ourselves in order, repenting, subduing our own thoughts and ideologies that we want to follow, and coming back to serving the Yahweh Shem Shah. As we always do, we're going to go to Acts chapter 18 and verse 4.
Book of Acts chapter 18, verse 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Shabbat and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, this is another Sabbath service to persuade Israel who knows that they're Israel, and those who don't know that they're Israel, to come back to serving the law, statutes, and commandments, serving your God wholeheartedly with truth and sincerity. Right, and the only way you can do that is through Philippians 4 and 13.
Book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. Right. I can do all things through Hamashiach Yahushua, which strengtheneth me.
Right, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're able to cast down these false doctrines. Right, stand 10 toes down on the doctrine that we have learned, and continue to push this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, man, so that we can get the hell up out of here and go home.
God. Can I get a quick precept? The book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 39. Like the brother said, you can't stop this truth, man. It don't matter what the hell is going on.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 39. But if it be of Yahweh, ye cannot overthrow it.
Right, you can't overthrow this thing. No matter if the internet go out, the lights go out. It's been at times the damn lights went out when we was live, man. Right, somebody banging on the door out of nowhere, hit the damn people all outside raging. The internet go out, the mic go out, but the word is going to continue to go out no matter what. Man.
That's right.
You know?
Lest happily ye be found even to fight against Yahweh.
Right, you're going to lose every time, man. You got it. And we're going to get right into it. So we're going back into the law, right? We're going back into the law because our people need the law, man. Our people need the commandments. What good is it? We always say, you know, all of the 10 toes, but you don't even know the law, statutes, and commandments. That's the foundation for us as a people, man. Understanding the law, right? Get the classic, Psalms 111 and 10. This is a Bible 101 precept. This is fundamental, Psalms chapter 111 and 10. Right, bring that up.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 111. 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
A good understanding.
No, a Christian pastor's understanding.
A good understanding.
A some ho understanding.
A good understanding.
Have what?
Have all they that do his commandments.
No, you just hear about them, but you never do them.
Have all they that do his commandments.
If you want to gain understanding, you got to do the commandments.
That's right. And
you can't limit yourself to 5 commandments, like not eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, growing your beard out, and no tattoos in the Sabbath. And that's it. You don't limit yourself or put yourself in the box of 5 commandments, and you're wondering why you're not growing in this thing. You're wondering why you're not learning. You're wondering why you remain on that same level, and these demons seem to never leave you. because you're not seeking how to please the Most High, right? You're not trying to uphold your end of the covenant. Your end of the covenant is predicated on your obedience to the Most High. If you're negligent in the law, your understanding isn't going to increase, man. If you're not seeking out the law and seeking out the commandments, that means you're not seeking to grow in the knowledge of the Most High. You can't just go into the in-depth prophecies and breakdowns and expect the Most High to give you the increase when you don't even know various commandments, man. Right. On how to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. You have no idea when the Day of Atonement comes in, right? There are certain commandments on how to deal with adultery and the judgments thereof that our people don't know. So you have to seek out the law. You have to stay in the law, in season, out of season, so you can know how to increase in this thing through faith.
God. And with us finding out that we're Israelites, it's a lot that comes with it, man. You got to forsake the ways of this world and come back to your heritage, man. Right? Your heritage, like the Bible said, is the 5 commandments. Right? Let's get Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11, man. This whole book right here is your heritage, man. Everything you learned in Babylon, you were given unto evil from your youth. Right? So now we're subduing these thoughts and coming out of the shadow of Babylon and doing as the Lord commanded. Because a lot of us really don't know what the Lord commanded us because we watch videos all day long and we don't take the time to actually read for ourselves. Right? Start at verse 11.
Book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11. Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
So the law of life is our heritage, man. Right? Our heritage isn't cookouts, BET, hot wings, hot sauce, grits, chitlins. Our heritage is the laws of life, right?
He made an everlasting covenant with them and shewed them his judgments. Right. Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and their ears heard his glorious voice. And he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness.
So to beware of all unrighteousness, you have to know the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Like Baruch 4:1 said, this is the book of the law and commandments that endure forever. Right? So you have to beware of all unrighteousness. If you fall short on one of the commandments, you fall short on all of them. So what does that mean? You get your nose in this book and truly find out where you're coming short. How are you going to repent for something if you don't know it's a sin?
Right.
Right? 2 more verses.
And he gave every man commandments concerning his neighbor.
Right? So all this is, right, the first 5 books is how you should treat your brother. Right? I don't want a brother stealing from me, so what am I going to do? Steal from my brother. Right. I don't want my brother killing me, so what am I not going to do? Kill my brother.
That's right. Their ways are ever before him, and shall not be hid from his eyes. Right. Every man from his youth is given to evil.
So all of us from our youth till we came into this truth have been given to evil. Even when you come into this truth, right? Your first couple months in this truth, you still got a whole bunch of wickedness on you, right? I was watching the video smoking weed. Every time I get cut, I change the video, right? Every man from his youth was given unto wickedness.
Neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stony.
Right? So we couldn't absorb these laws, statutes, and commandments because we were ignorant, wicked Israelites, right? Being ignorant just means you didn't know. So we were very in the things of which we should have known, which was our heritage.
God. And we're going to get right into it. We're in Leviticus, the 14th chapter, right? Which is a chapter that's seldom touched on, right? So we're going to go into it. Leviticus chapter 14 deals with various forms of leprosy, right? We're going to go into it. So let's read that.
Book of Leviticus.
And then it may be brothers, well, why are they not going into fire and destruction? How come you're not talking about Eve? How come Esau's not bowing the boot? I heard Esau licks the boot out there, man. Well, you can't expect just for Esau to lick the boot all day, man. That, like we always say on the Monday Night Fire, that boot fetish, man. You just type on YouTube boot licking. Black Hebrew Israelites boot licker. You got all these tabs of various cats that's carved and all, just boot licking, man. That's off, man. You don't know no commandments, but you know brother's shoe size. Like, hey, that brother is 10.5 right there. I can tell. See, you going off, man. You know, those Timbs, man. That brother, remember you got your boot licked in the Timbs, and that brother got his boot licked in the Converse. The Lord isn't dealing with that, man. Magnifying the boot licking, man. This truth isn't just about boot licking and us getting on the black woman, man. Jake right now, they hoping on the black woman to come out of nowhere, man. You know? You said, well, yeah, Hebrew Israelite bootlicker. I owe you nothing, right? So let's Let's go to Leviticus chapter 14 and 1.
Con.
Esau.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 14, and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest.
Right.
And the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper.
Now, leprosy in today's world is not what it is in the Bible. Right? If you type in leprosy now, we'll see if we can pull it up on the screen. Right? So what the so-called white man has done through his massive deception has made the world believe that leprosy is something that he doesn't have. Right? So if brothers can look it up on their own, but we'll pull it up on the screen. Right? So this is leprosy according to the world, but not according to the Most High. Right? It should be showing on the screen. Right, brother, see this? Is it popping up? Yeah, this is leprosy according to the world. Right? They say this is leprosy, a crippling disease. Right? When your hands and your feet become disfigured and discolored. Right? But this isn't leprosy according to the Most High. Right? When the Most High goes into leprosy, he's not talking about this guy right here. Right? Yeah, that looked like syphilis. Yeah, that's third stage syphilis, man. So we have to go in and deal with leprosy. Because you might have leprosy, but the so-called white man, he might say, well, that's just vitiligo. I want you to kind of just put this ointment on it and you'll be all right. Yeah, or they might say it's a birthmark. Right? So the so-called white man, he has all these different terminologies. Salakia Kings. He got all these different terminologies for leprosy. So now when you want to be treated for it, there's a righteous way to deal with this. And when you have it, the so-called white man's not going to treat it in righteousness. It's going to lead you to destruction. You know? So let's go back to that. Read on, King.
Verse 4. Then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood and scarlet and hyssop.
Right.
And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water.
Yeah, it had to be done the right way. Right, go on.
As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them, and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water.
Right. So what's inside the blood? By show of hands. Life. Right? Leviticus chapter 17 and 11. So you have the blood being mixed in or poured with the running water. Right? That's spiritual. Right? Let's read on.
And he shall, Salakia, verse 7, and he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field.
Yeah, like a scapegoat. So you kill the one bird, and then you let the other bird go free. Now, that's equivalent to the scapegoat in Leviticus, I believe the 16th chapter. You can read about the scapegoat when you lay the sins upon one, and you take a strong man, and you let the other one go free. So one of them bears the sins of Israel, and the other one is let loose, right? Or the other one is the one is killed, and the other one is let loose. Let's read on.
And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days.
And this had to be done, right? It had to be done. You had to cleanse you. This was the way to cleanse you, right? It says you shall wash his clothes and shave off all his hair. Now, modern day, like I said, with Michael Jackson, he had what they say, vitiligo. That's a form of leprosy. You understand? Certain brothers, like Amos said, you may have a so-called birthmark, but it's not really a birthmark. That's leprosy, right? So leprosy, we all know. Let's go to Exodus. Or Salakia, Numbers. Let's go to Numbers chapter 12 and 3. Numbers chapter 12 and 3. And leprosy was common in the ancient times.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 3. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
Right?
And the Lord spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out.
So the Lord told them come out because they were getting on Moses because he married an Ethiopian woman. Right? Now jump down straight to the point. Go to verse 9.
Verse 9. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle.
So the Lord ascended up in the chariot. Go on.
And behold, Miriam became leprous.
What did the Lord say?
Behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous.
See that? So a true leper, you're white as snow. You understand? So remember, Miriam is a dark-skinned woman, a Levite woman, but leprous is when your skin discolors and turns white as snow. It may start off with a patch, because you have 4 types of leprosy. You have leprosy in the skin, leprosy in the hair, leprosy in the clothes, and leprosy in the house. Those are the 4 forms of leprosy, and they all have to be treated in different manners, right? And we'll break down the modern day terms so brothers can understand. If you have leprosy in your clothes, you got to know how to handle it, right? You got to know if you have leprosy in your house. There was an ancient way on how to handle it, right? If you have leprosy in your skin, you didn't just take some, I don't know what they give people with vitiligo, right? Probably some type of moisturizer or lotion, huh?
I think I got some form of vitiligo.
Okay.
From like my childhood.
Right.
It's like around my lips too. You can kind of see.
Yeah.
But it's mainly more right here, like in this area right here.
Right.
They basically, like they say they don't know what it is.
Right. You see that?
It's like your immune system attacking itself and killing the melanin cells. They don't know what it is.
Right, but we know what it is. See, the so-called white man, and I'm led to believe he knows what it is. Right? He might have told an Edomite what it is, but he told you, well, look, we don't know what it is. You know, he won't tell an Israelite what it is. Esau coming there, oh, we got this figured out. You know, you got stage 3 of this, and, you know, my remedy is this, and why don't you come in next week? It's on me. Right? Then Jake going there, ain't nothing we can do. You know, well, I'm tied up. You know, you got to
God, let's go to Exodus 4 and 6. Right, because becoming leper, that was a horrible plague to have put upon you.
Right.
Like that wasn't like something that it was just random. You know, if that happened to you, you're gonna be in shock, man. Right? You got to think that our forefathers they were very handsome and beautiful women. So for them to get leprosy, that was probably a shock for them to see. Right? And now you got Benjamin over there. They doing a lot of bleaching, man. Now they trying to make themselves look like Esau. Making themselves leper, rubbing that cream on themselves and getting rid of their melanin, man. Oh, how the world has turned backwards, right? Let's get Exodus 4 and 6.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thine hand into thy bosom.
Right, so this is the Lord speaking to Moses. He told him, put your hand in your bosom, right?
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
Right? So that's showing you that when you're lepers, you're as white as snow. Right? Like the albinos. You know that the so-called black people, they got all the so-called black features, they look like snowmen. Right? So he put his hand into his bosom and pulled it out and bam. Right? Imagine your only hand being white as snow, but the rest of your body is brown. Right? You're going to lose your mind. Right?
Verse 7. And he said, Put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again, and plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
Right? So that's a miracle to see that happen, man. Imagine putting your hand in your pocket, you pull it out, and it's all white. You put it back, it's back to its normal color, man.
Right.
Right? That's a miracle to see. That'll blow your mind. Right? So that's showing you that leprosy in our people is when your skin turns white as snow. Right, and you know you're not going to be white like the color in this page right here.
Right.
But it's going to be a off tint. And it's going to blow your mind.
Right, and I go back. This is the 4th chapter. We get the book of Genesis, chapter 4, and verse 14. Right. So the Lord didn't smite him to be nice to him, man. Right. That's an abominable thing to be that white as snow, man.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 14.
Right.
Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid.
Right, so Cain knows his punishment. Through thy face I shall be hid, and I wouldn't have any mercy, any blessings, or anything from the Lord evermore. Read.
And I shall be a fugitive.
And that's what the so-called white man is to this very day. He's a fugitive. He's everywhere. He's on Australia. He's in damn Europe. He's in Africa. What is this so-called white man doing in Africa, man? But to spy it out and damn still. Read.
And a vagabond in the earth.
Right, meaning he don't have no homeland. His homeland is the Caucasus Mountains. Mount Seir. Read.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Right, everyone that findeth me. Because everyone on the earth had dark skin at this time. Read on.
And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
Right, he had to physically set a mark upon Cain to let everyone know who this was that couldn't be touched until be brought forth on a deeper level to be killed. You know?
Lest any finding him should kill him.
So the Lord set a mark upon him, meaning he changed his complexion. So no matter where you go on the earth, you will be able to know that this man, that this is Cain.
So like in the scriptures, it says after death, they come to judgment, man. So you see a lot of people who are leper today, man. Right? They got a lot of leprosy. Yep. People got big white blotches across their face. You got to ask yourself, what did they do in their past life for the Lord to put a plague upon them like this? Yeah, that's what I was right. That's not a comely thing to see, right? And they it's a model, right? She got leprosy, and they try to say she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Man, that was a wicked woman probably in the ancient world, man. Right? Just a big old, like a slash of white across her face.
Yeah. Well, go back to Numbers chapter 12. It's going to tell you, man. Go to Numbers 12 and read 11. I remember that. I saw that on social media, right? They had this leper woman, because the so-called white man turns things upside down. Like it turned Isaiah, I believe 29:16. Surely you're turning the things upside down, man. Things that are supposed to be despised and put on the back burner. Esau, he glorifies it, man. Bring that up.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 11.
So Miriam just got leprosy, right? Or leprosy. Read on.
And Aaron said unto Moses, alas, my Lord.
What does alas mean? Finally. No, not finally. Not at last, but alas. It's like what?
It's like damn.
It's like damn. That's what it means, man. Damn. That's alas.
Right.
Right? It doesn't, like what the hell?
Yeah.
It doesn't, it doesn't mean alas. Right? We're not reading Disney, right? A Disney book. It's not a fairy tale. So he saw, imagine you with your sister, and the Lord is in it. You gotta envision this thing. You got this chariot, the Lord just rebuked y'all. You probably sitting there shaking, the Lord shaking her hand at you, the chariot beam up. You look at your sister, she's boom, right in snow. You're like, oh, that's what Aaron is doing. No, alas, Miriam. Oh, this is Jake, man. You gotta read it in the spirit, right? Go on.
Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us.
Please, Lord, no, anything but this. The sin is they are reviled the gods, right? Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the rulers of thy people. That's Exodus 22 and 28. That's the blue letter for alas, right? Now, if you got the coordinates, is H994. It means used to introduce an entreaty or request. Like an excuse me, like, oh, wow, what is this? Right? So read on. They said, lay not this sin upon us,
wherein we have done foolishly,
right?
And wherein we have sinned.
Like Amos said, that could be a punishment for your sins. Go on.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed,
right? When
he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Now that reminds me of Esau. Esau came out looking half dead, huh? That's why they go to Genesis 25 and 25. It's lucky. Aaron saw Miriam and said she looks half dead and her flesh was consumed, because that was a thing back then. Right? That shows you that was a common thing. Go to Genesis 25 and 25.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red.
It came out normal.
And the first came out red.
It come out red, read.
All over like a hairy garment.
Go on.
And they called his name Esau.
They was on one accord, and he said Esau. Right? Esau's not a pretty, that's your baby coming out. You say ugly. We'll just name it ugly. Right? We both agree, and this is ugly, man. That's Esau in the Hebrew. That's not a pretty name. That's not like, oh, you know, what a name, damn. What's the Jake name they do now, man? Tyrone. Or, you know, what name him after your father. He's going to be Junior. You call him Junior, right? No, man. They said, call him Esau. What's Esau in the Hebrew? He wasted. That's what it means. Ishashwa. He wasted. They saw him, they said, oh, he's wasted away. Why does he look like this?
Alas.
Right, alas. Now, it didn't say Rebecca called him Esau or Isaac. It said they. It was a one accord. They probably looked at each other and said at the same time, Esau. And then Ishashwa. Esau sitting there crying, ugly, sitting there. They're like, what the hell? Imagine your baby come out like that, with a flesh half dead. Right? So let's go back to Numbers chapter 12 and read 12 again. So leprosy ain't no joke, man. Man, you have a child, the child come out a leper, you're gonna be pissed. Now you're gonna say, okay, the baby's healthy. You're gonna put it on that front, right? You know, your mother might be there, you know, your cousins. Okay, I'm glad the baby came out healthy. But in the back of your mind, you're like, damn. Shit. Now you can fake it all day long, but come on, brother. Your baby come out a leper, you're gonna think about it, man. You might think, what did I do for this to happen? What have I done? You're gonna be praying, you know, hoping, Lord, please give him the skin. Jake, all the Jakes who had a leper babies act like they don't be praying to the Most High to get that color back, huh? Please just give him his color back. So let's read on Numbers 12 and 12.
God. Book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 12, continuing. Let her not be as one dead.
So Esau's a dead man walking around.
God.
He looks dead. But yet his beauty magazines, his cover girl, GQ, Esquire, his damn nasty Playboy magazines, all this stuff, he wants to be he's the most handsome man in the world. Let me do something real quick. Let's type in most beautiful woman in the world. Let's see what we get.
I never get that one.
Is it an Edomite? Most beautiful woman in the world. Let's see what we get. Bella Hadid. Who's that? An Edomite, man. See, they gave, look at this. And they, look, that's supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. What about Judith?
Right.
And Susanna? And Esther? You understand it all four of us. How is she the most beautiful woman in the world, man? The Lord said she looked like half dead. Skin probably slimy and stink. And people, one more quick point. People, you know, they say that's a cute. Edomite babies are disgusting looking. Right? Yeah, they absolutely disgusting. Look like they was made in the laboratory. You know, it look like old people. Let's read on in Numbers 12.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed.
Right?
When he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Then you type in the most handsome man, and they give you a Ammonite, man. What Mongoloidism, right? So this is what the world glorifies, right? The world glorifies the most detested thing that you could be. See, that's sick. That's sick. Come on, let's read on.
Verse 13. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, heal her now, O God, I beseech thee.
Right?
And the Lord said unto Moses, if her father had put spit in her face.
And for her father had but spit in her face. So having leprosy looking like that is equivalent to God spitting in your face. So that's no beautiful thing. The so-called white man looks like that, and the Most High compared it to him spitting in your face, man. Read on.
Should she not be ashamed 7 days?
And back in the day, they'll do that. A father, he'll spit in his daughter's face, man. Right? She was off. Read.
Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
Read.
And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days. And the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again.
So having leprosy, again, for the third time, is the same thing as the Most High, your creator, looking at you and spitting in your face. Let's go back to Leviticus 4. So this, like Amos, this ain't nothing nice, man. There's nothing glorified about being a leper. They were put out, man. They were like the outcast. Right? Let's go to the let's go back to Numbers 12. I mean Leviticus 14.
14 and 9.
God.
Book of Leviticus chapter 14, verse 9. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows.
And you gotta shave your eyebrows, right? You're gonna be looking bugged out. Go on.
Even all his hair he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes. Also, he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean.
Read.
And on the 8th day, he shall take 2 he lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3/10 deals of fine flour for a meat offering mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil.
Right.
And the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean and those things before the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation.
So the priest acted on behalf as like a modern day doctor, right? Who would go through this remedy, through these sacrifices and through these statutes to make sure this man is healed of his leprosy. Read on.
And the priest shall take 1 he lamb and offer him for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering, Salakia, before the Lord.
Right.
Verse 13. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy.
Right. He has to do the sin offering, the wave offering. Go on.
And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot.
Yeah, that's all spiritual too, man. Right? Your right hand, your right toe, and your right ear.
God.
Right? The blood of the Lord. So even on that, what happened to the priest? That happened to Aaron and his sons. Right? Moses would take the blood and put it on a right toe, right, which is symbolic for your walk in the Lord. Right? And then your right ear is your mind, symbolic for your mind, receiving the Lord. And then your right hand is symbolic for your actions, doing the work of the Most High. So now he's being cleansed on a physical level, but also on a spiritual level, he's been revived to serve the Most High, and he's allowed within the camp again after this process.
Yeah. Let's go to Psalm 38 and 1. Well, like the brother said, the priests were the modern day physicians back then, man. Like how you got to be a doctor, you got to go to X amount of years of school, then you got to go to school another X amount of years, right. Then you got to do your residency. Right, it takes time to understand how to do this process, because if the priest slipped up and not did a certain process, that man or that woman would die.
Right.
That man would be put out from amongst the body and be put to death. Right? So these are the physicians that the Lord has set up. Right?
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, Salakia, due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him.
Right. You finish it up.
For the Lord hath created him.
Right, so you gotta honor the use of the physician, man. Right, that's a serious thing to have upon you, leprosy. So you gotta make sure you bring what is needed to do the offerings for the Lord. Right, you can't show up to the priest empty-handed. You can't show up before the Lord empty-handed. Right.
Verse 2. For the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king.
Right.
The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration.
Right. So to see a man who was plagued with leprosy one day, then the Lord had him go to the priest, and the priest mixed the blood with the water of the bird, and then he sprinkled it on him, then he come back. That's an honorable thing to see, man.
Right.
That's an honorable thing. So the priests were well known and admired amongst all Israel, man. That's why they had to be in the suburbs, man. You don't put anybody in the suburbs.
Right.
Right, you don't go down to the heart of Baltimore and take them and move them all the way out to Montgomery County. Oh, hell gonna break loose, man. You don't put the priest in the gutter parts. You put them where they're supposed to be, man. Right?
God. Now we can read on. We're not gonna read this entire account, but let's read on. So this is going into what kind of leprosy? For what? For the skin. Leprosy for your skin. Go on.
Verse 14. And the precepts.
I want to pull this picture up, man. Brothers know about Sammy Sosa, man. This man willingly gave himself leprosy. Right? He willingly gave, where is it at, man? He willingly went contrary to the Most High and said, I want to look like the so-called white man. And bought leper cream and turned them, I believe he's a Simeonite. And a lot of Simeonites do that, man. They want to be like the so-called, a lot of Benjamites are doing that too. A lot of Benjamites, Simeonites, a lot of Judites are doing that, right? They're the people that want to look like the so-called white man. So they'll put on the skin bleaching cream, and then celebrities do that, right? Your damn Beyonce's, and you looking at Megan Good did that. Serena Williams. You said who? Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim looks disgusting. God forbid, man. You said what? Looks sick, man.
Type that Sammy Sosa hat.
Right, let's go to set. So let's type this in. Right, Sammy Sosa hat. Ah, look at this guy. Look like a ghost. Right? So this is what, 20-something years ago, and this is now. The so-called white man sells you things to destroy yourself, man.
Like an Italian.
Right, he look like a freak. So you can now he's going off. Now he's giving himself leprosy. Right? That's that bleaching. Right? Let's pull up I don't want to type in Little Kim. Right? But you can check it out on you can type in skin bleaching lotion on your own. All right?
Vibes Cartel.
We'll go to that.
Yeah, Vibes Cartel.
Yeah. He promoted that.
BYB.
VYB.
Z.
There you go.
BYBZ.
Oh, this brother did it too?
Yeah, he's the one that promoted it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah. That's, you got, like.
So he looks bugged out.
He is.
Right?
And they also changed their nationality to Caucasian.
Yeah, they'll change. Yeah, that's right, man. So they're completely destroyed. And they'll get blue contacts. And blonde hair. Let's go to Proverbs 3 and 31. Let's get the classic. Proverbs 3 and 31, man. Right? Proverbs chapter 3 and 31. Absolute madness.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
What the Lord say?
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Read it again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Right? Envy thou not the oppressor. Go on.
And choose none of his ways.
That's fundamental. That's 101, man. Right? Envy thou not the oppressor, nor choose none of his ways. Is this Lil' Kim now?
Yeah.
That might be.
Yeah, that's her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I done seen it all. Wow. Look at this madness, right? From 1990 to 20, she looks like a completely different person.
Yeah.
A damn white woman, man. The Lord said, envy thou not the oppressor, nor choose none of his ways. I got one quick.
That damn neck black in her face.
That's right, man. Give me real quick, Esther chapter 8 and 15. Come, go to Esther 8 and 15. So our people are willingly giving themselves leprosy, man. This is disgusting. Right? That's that self-hate, man. Right? I hate myself spirit. That's that witchcraft and crafty counsel that the so-called white man played on you to make you believe that your melanin and brown skin was ugly, man. That you was a monster. The Mormons teach that we're burnt by God. That we have the curse of Ham. Our brown skin is a curse, man. And I love my brown skin, man. These devils teach you that it's a curse from the Most High. When the Lord in the Bible, he's a so-called black man.
Right.
So let's bring that up.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 8. Salakia, chapter 8 and verse 15. And Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in royal apparel,
Right.
of blue and white, and with a great crown of gold, and with a garment of fine linen and purple.
Now jump to verse 5. Let me jump to 6.
God. Book Esther, chapter 8 and verse 6.
So here's the mentality of our women back then. Let's compare it to Lil' Kim and Serena Williams, Beyonce, and all these women of the world now.
For how can I endure to see the evil that shall come upon my people?
She said, I hate the so-called white man. She hated Haman. She called him the adversary, which is in the Hebrew Shaitan, Satan. Huh? This is when the so-called black woman called the so-called white man a devil. Read on.
Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred?
Read.
Then the king,
Ahasuerus
said unto Esther the queen, and to Mordecai the Jew, behold, I have given Esther the house of Haman, and him they have hanged upon the gallows, because he laid his hand upon the Jews.
And Esther is the one who asked for these so-called white men to be lynched, man. That was the mentality back then. She said, lynch these devils, man. They're 10 sons of Haman. Our women don't have that mentality right now. If we bring out, we're going to lynch the so-called white man, they don't freak out, man. There's a famous meme of an Eve doing this in the crowd at a Trump rally, stopping people from getting on a so-called white man. Did brother see that? Yeah. It's a famous Maddie, right? She's a famous Maddie, and she sits there and she's protecting the so-called white man till death. You had Eves on the plantation. Oh, I get to nurse the little masses, baby. Oh boy, I can't wait to nurse this. You gonna get this good meat? No. Why you gonna get this nigga milk? So that's what Eve was on back in the ancient times, man. You got it. Let's go to the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse number 9. That's in the Bible, man. Everything we bringing out is in the Bible, right? And little Kim done jacked up her face too, man, with all type of shots. She done changed her hair, changed her eye color. She changed who she was, man.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 9. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise.
Right, the so-called gym, right? Where the so-called white man want to damn freak off and be naked, man, and watch each other work out. Read.
And for the training up of youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name of Antiochians.
By what?
By the name of Antiochians.
Just like everybody want to be a proud American, man. You got Jake, they want to represent America, man. It's so damn bad. They want to sit there, they want to go to all of the so-called colleges. They want to go to Harvard, Yale, or what else is there, man?
Dartmouth,
Princeton,
Brown.
right? And they put their damn bow tie on and they put their nose in the sky, man. Right. When you got damn shackles on your feet, man, in your mind, you don't even know, nor do you care, because you feel like you made it in this society. Because everything the so-called white man tells you, you regard it as God. Read on.
Which, when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, for forthwith brought his own nation to the Greekish fashion.
Right, to the Greekish fashions, man. And our people into the Greek fashions even to the day. They want to dress like the so-called white man, talk like them, walk like them. They put their jacket over their back and walk with their damn nose up high. Right. Then they got their turtlenecks and, hey, man, I hate this, man. Why don't you want to be yourself? I can't wait when I get home. I'm going to put on my damn girdle for no apparent reason. I'm never taking my fringes off until I bathe.
Right.
You know, then when I get out, I'll put my fringes back on.
That's right.
You know?
Verse 11. And the royal privileges granted of special favor to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid, he took away and put it down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law.
New customs against the law, man. That's the so-called white man to this very day. All of these new customs being a so-called homosexual, right, doing all of these different things, changing your hair color, man. You got Eve, they want to wear red hair, orange hair, green hair. They just want to thought out and be like the so-called white woman. They want red hair like the so-called red hair woman. Right, ginger woman, right? They want to get blonde hair like the so-called white woman. They want freckle face. Right. They want to do everything just like the so-called white woman. And the so-called white woman would just be just like you, man.
Right.
It's like it's bugged out. It's confusion. Read on.
For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. Now, such was the height of Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners, through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch.
Right, now we'll jump to verse 14.
Verse 14, that the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
They didn't even care no more. Once this Greek fashion and this Greek mythology and this way of life came, they balled up the law and they just wanted to do what the so-called white man did, man. And that's what our people do to this very day. They neglect the words of the Lord to follow the laws of this land, and they don't care about anything biblical, man, or anything spiritual or about your heritage. Rest right there, want to get a quick precept. Go to Matthew chapter 8, verse 1. Because if the priest, like Amos said earlier, if the priest didn't do the ordinances, amen, a lot of men would die, man. They would have no hope. Now, if they neglected and didn't have the courage to serve anymore, what would that mean to the nation? That's why we need Yahushua, man. He's the ultimate high priest. Bring that up.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verse 1. When he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean.
Right, thou canst make me clean.
And Yahushua put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed.
Right, immediately his leprosy was cleansed, man. Because Yahushua represents everything. He's the high priest, he's the lamb, he's the tabernacle, he's the burden and altar, he's everything, man. He's everything you need in the law that's going to purge away your sins and your sacrifice. So if all the way back then in 2 Maccabees chapter 4, you can read 14 again, King.
Book of 2 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 14. That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus called.
Right, so the priests, they was going to hell off, man. Now, if they didn't want to do the work in the temple, then there'll be no purging for no sacrifices, man. So that's how ultimately we need Yahushua that much more, and it's a foreshadowing of the law of Yahushua to come.
Con. And to let me back on what the brother said, the reason that we want to do this is because we love lies, man. We love lies. Go to Nahum 3:1, then we're going to jump to 4, right? We love lies and the witchcraft for the so-called white man, man. So self-hatred starts from an early age, man. It's not something you just wake up and say, I just hate my skin. No, it's taught to you from the day you come out the womb, man. Right? It's they got the YouTube channels for the little kids, man. It's called Coco Melon.
Yep.
Coco Melon with the big-headed white baby, man.
Blue eyes.
And the blue eyes, man. That's all you see. All we saw growing up was so-called white people. Right? And then when we did get, so-called black people on the TV screen, it was jesters and jokers. Right? It was a whole bunch of clowns, man. We didn't have anybody look up and say, this is what I want to be like, man. This is beautiful. You don't have people talking about black is beautiful anymore. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Right? It's all these blonde hair, touch my soul and soul and all this other stuff, man. This is wickedness and witchcraft, man.
Verse 4.
Started 1 and John 4.
Book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is all full of lies.
Right, so the bloody city is full of lies, man. Like we just said, the most beautiful woman in the world, that's a lie. I know women, not even famous, that look 1,000 times better than that, man. We got family members who look 1,000 times better than that, man. Right? We know people who look better than that. This place is full of lies and what?
And robbery.
And robbery, it robbed us of our integrity, our self-love. It robbed us of who we were, right?
The prey departeth not, the noise of a whip.
Jump down to verse 4.
Verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of the witchcrafts that selleth nations.
Right? So the well-favored harlot, which is Babylon the Great, man. So they taught us what the image of beauty is, man. Remember back in the day, they had the TV shows where the women were natural. They were skinny, they were beautiful. Now everybody wants to chase after a big ass, right? Fake is the new real, right? All the women talking about, I can't deal with fake men, but 98% of their body is fake, huh? Everything is backwards here in Babylon, man. It's so backwards. That's the witchcraft that the so-called white man has been fooling us and tricking us with since we was young, man. Where we see girls on TV, and we're like, that's what I want, man. Not knowing they just dropped $100K to change their whole body, man. Not knowing that what we looking at is fake, right? And it's selling nations, man. Because a whore bring a man to a piece of bread. And that's what's happening to our men. They fluing these women out, right? Getting robbed, getting seduced, getting exploited, right? This is the witchcraft that we have to deal with, right?
And Salakia, and families through her witchcrafts. Verse 5, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
So the Lord is against the witchcraft, the wickedness, and all that Babylon does, and it's exposing the so-called white man before everybody. The white man is exposing himself.
God.
Right? It was a video, I'm about to pass it. It was a video of a man, he was in a wheelchair. And he, you know those little TikTok things where it changed the face and show you who you were in your past life? And it came up with Christopher Columbus. He said, dang, man.
Wow.
Dang, I do deserve this. Right? So they know, they know of all the witchcraft, the whoredom that they teach us, man. Right? I seen an 11-year-old throwing money on strippers at his music shoot. 11-year-old, man. This is crazy, man. This is what we're taught from a young age. This self-hatred is instilled in us, man. You don't see, I got you. You don't see families together with the husband and wife. It's either you have a wife and a white husband, a white wife and a black husband, all the mixed kids. Where it's no true so-called black love, man. And that's good because we want Israelite love now, man.
Right.
We coming back to who we are. You got it, King.
I remember there was a camp, and one brother came out. He had a garment of the American flag on.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah, American flag garment. That was madness. Damn, I had a point. Oh, go to the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and 2. Yeah, I'm gonna show this quick picture. Eve is busy getting weed from the so-called white man, ripping your damn head off, man. Look at this madness, right? You done ripped. You have to go back and look it up on your own. But she done ripped her head off, literally trying to get weed. Spent how much is weed? $350 plus $500 for some Brazilian, Malaysian, bone straight, really Peruvian, man. Peruvian, you know. So you know them Edomites making a killing off of you, man. Chris Rock did the documentary Good Hair, and he went and showed you what's going on. They in there praying to their gods, sacrificing their hair to the spiritual demon Satan. You putting that, you just had your abortion, and then you just putting that damn hair right in your head. It was a woman twerking, getting her abortion, man. Yeah. Did a cold cut like 4 years ago. She was twerking in the damn operating room. I went blonde hair, said, I'm about to get this abortion. So she put them demons all in your mind. You know, let me get this real quick. Revelations. Oh, go ahead, King.
Chris Rock made that movie so his daughters would never put that stuff in his head.
All praises.
Right? And to educate the younger women not to do that.
God.
It fell, bro.
Too, right?
Yeah.
It felt bad.
Revelation 17 and 1. Read 1.
Book of Revelation, chapter 17, starting in verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
So the reason a lot of people do that is because, like the brother said, there's no solid Israelite families. Our mother now is the whore. So it's an old, spiritually, a so-called white woman raising us, man. And she's not any white woman, she's a whore. Go to Ezekiel 16 and 44, right? And you know what they're going to do, man. Go to Ezekiel. These so-called white women, look what happens when they adopt so-called black babies. What did Charlize Theron do to her son? Freak them out, man. And turn him to a woman. So now he's walking around with a dress. Angelina Jolie, you let these damn devils deal with your children, you see what happens on a physical level. What do you think happens on a spiritual level? We've been given to the great whore, man.
That's right.
Look how we are when a father raises us compared to how the whore raises us. Right. We think different, we move different, we love different, we talk different. So this shows you the structure, even on a spiritual or carnal level, of having the proper guidance in your house, man. Right. Bring it out, Ezekiel 16 and 44.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, As is the mother, so is her daughter.
What the Lord say?
As is the mother, so is her daughter.
So the mother's the whore, and she's off. How do you think we're going to be raised up in America? Off. The mother whore, she gets drunk. What do you think we're going to do? Be drunk off the wine, man? The mother whore deals with the other nations. Why do you think our people deal with the nations? That's just classic, man. As it's the mother, so it's the daughter. But the Lord also said, what? Go to Sirach 30 real quick. Ecclesiastes chapter 30. We're going to get back into the law. Go to Sirach chapter 30 and read verse 4. Right? Now, here's the relationship or the dynamic between the father and the son.
Book of Sirach chapter 30 and verse 4. Though his father died, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself.
That is like himself. That's the difference right there. When you're being raised by the Father, you just like the Heavenly Father. Right? Not in terms of power and knowledge, but in terms of righteousness. Compared to when you're raised by a whore, you move just like a damn whore. Because you're committing all types of spiritual fornication, man. You know, now go, let's get back in the law. I want to jump up to we don't have to read that whole skin leprosy, right? But I want to jump up to Leviticus 14. We're going to deal with the next type of leprosy. Go to Leviticus 13, since we're talking about it. Leviticus chapter 13, and we can read 29.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 29. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard.
So the second type of leprosy we addressing is the leprosy in your hair. Right, go on.
Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
A what?
A yellow thin hair.
Our people have leprosy, man.
God.
Yellow thin hair is leprosy.
God.
You sitting up there trying to be like damn, what's this damn devil? Marilyn Monroe, man. Marilyn Monroe's my idol. Right? I want to be like who else? Who's these white women they want to be like, man? Marilyn Monroe. Well, she wants to be like Kim Kardashian. Well, she wants to be like us. Cameron Diaz, man. Madonna, that's another one. You want to be Madonna? Britney Spears? They all have leprosy in their hair.
You know that when Britney Spears shaved the whole side of her head off?
Yeah, Eve was doing that.
Eve started
doing that. Right? Come. Read on.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
See, you are unclean, man. You're bleaching your skin. You're bleaching your hair, getting that platinum blonde hair, trying to be the so-called white woman. Right. Like even Amos said, man, and I saw the brother posted on the comment board. We grew up, we had to watch, we had Proud Family, right? And there was nothing but niggas on there. Oscar was a nigga, right? His grandmother was off. That's who I'm about to focus on. DJ she had blonde hair. He had a dude named Sticky. You know? Like the brother Paul, that's what we had to watch. You had to watch the young Eve, had to watch her go off against her parents, Penny Proud go off and be rebellious. Then you say, okay, I don't like Penny. I want to be Dejanay, right? And she was, I don't want to she was off, man, with blonde hair.
So like,
one more quick one. And she was promiscuous, man. So this is what we have. You know, Esau, they get the little strawberry shortcake girl, and they get all these white women that they could, that listen to their parents, and they get cow you, and they get Doug, and we get niggas, man.
That's right.
You know, where you got it, King?
And the Parkers, man.
Right.
When we was in California, that time difference, you wake up, it'd be early, it'd be like 5 in the morning, it feel late. Man, the Parkers would be on, man. The girl Kim from the Parkers, man. Man, just whoring, had the blue eyes. The dude came back in her life and said, "Wasn't your eyes blue?" Yeah. She had the blonde hair. It was awful, man. Yeah. That's what we had to. It was a funny show, but that's what you had to look up. Ignorant black women. Right. Ignorant women, always loud. Hey, professor. Right. Screaming in the middle of the auditorium, man. And then Kim, you remember
right? Yeah, the beginning.
Ignorant, man. It was ignorance, man. Right. But that's what we liked, man. We liked ignorance, man, because Eve liked to walk haughty.
Right.
Wait, I'm gonna get
No, go ahead. Do your thing.
Let's get Isaiah 3 and 16, man.
Bring it out.
This is why you get plagued, man. Because you don't know how to be circumspect and be delicate as the Lord commanded you to be, man. When you want to be haughty, you want to be seen. Man, Eve should not want to be seen by every man. Every man should not have that honor to look upon your beauty, man.
Right.
Right, you posting yourself on social media to get likes, and you don't even like yourself. Right, you hate yourself deep down, but you want them little hearts under your picture.
Right.
Right, you going back to check. Oh, he liked it. I got him. Right, I ain't talked to him in 10 years, but he's still looking. And you hate yourself when you take all that makeup and the wigs off. Yeah. Right, this is why you get played, because you walk around haughty. Right, let's bring it out.
God. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks.
They walk like they don't stink, man.
Right.
They walk like they the top-notch thing on the earth. I mean, you are, but you have nothing to be proud of right now.
That's right.
Right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American women have nothing to be proud of, man, except that you're an Israelite. We got a lot of work to do, man. Yeah. Even us going on the highways and byways, we really don't got nothing to be proud about, man.
That's right.
We're unprofitable servants until we get that crown. Lord,
That's right. That's right.
Right? So these women, they walk around like it's all good, right? Go ahead, keep going.
And wanton eyes.
Right? Looking at everything, hit you with, if a sister gives you the eyes, it's over. You in trouble, man. Right? The wanton are blinking at you, right? Back in the day, they come
looking you up and down.
Looking you up and down, man. Right? A woman just staring at you in the parties back in the day. You know what that means.
Right.
Come over here. I want you. Right? With the wanton eyes.
Salakia. Wanton eyes walking and mincing as they go and making a tinkling with their feet.
Right.
Therefore, the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head.
Right. So the Lord, since you want to be haughty and be seen, want every man to chase after your tail, now the Lord gonna make you bald, put a scab in your head. Right now you got the Jada Pinkett Smith. Right? She's a representation of Baltimore. That's what Jada Pinkett Smith is.
Damn.
Right?
Of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
And we finding out that a lot of women have a lot of stinking secret parts, man. Right? Social media make everything travel, man.
Right.
Right? Everything is being exposed in these last days. When the Lord exposes you, it's on a broad level, man. Right? And that's because of the whoredom and the haughtiness of Israel. These Israelite women, per se.
It's a little more than that.
Come on.
I want to touch
Verse
the point.
18. In that day, the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments.
Yeah, all your damn Gucci, your Michael Kors, right? All of your expensive jewelry you got. The Lord's going to have that stuff be diminished, man. Go on.
About their feet.
Yeah, that's that. This is talking about the Eve that say you can't afford me, right? I'm foreign. Or I'm from overseas. You're not on my level. He has to be 6 figures. And she got blonde hair. Not pulling this up. Wigs are expensive. This wig, a blonde hair wig, is $285. Eve is on her 4th baby, her 3rd abortion, on WIC and food stamps, and she's busting pockets to pay $300 for some weave to go to the club and freak off, man. Go on.
And their clothes and their round tires like the moon.
Read.
The chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings,
right?
The rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel.
Yeah, all them shoes you got in your closet you don't wear, all them clothes, go on.
And the mantles and the wimples and the crispin pins,
right?
The glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils,
right?
And it shall come to pass that instead of a sweet smell, there shall be stink.
There shall what?
There shall be stink.
The Lord said about Eve,
there shall be stink.
There shall be stink. Right. We don't have to do an in-depth breakdown called "There Shall Be Stink" and do a 3-hour lesson and this is thou shalt be. No, we don't. We know what that's talking about, right? There shall be stink. Read.
And instead of a girdle, a rent, And instead of well-set hair,
Instead of well-set hair, what did the Lord give our women?
Baldness.
What did He give them?
Baldness.
Baldness, like an ostrich. Look like an ostrich. That's Job. You can read about that, man. Our women used to have well-set hair, man. Afros. You understand? No, God knows how Judith and Sarah hair was, man. You know, it had to be magnificent, man. But now our women have baldness, and to compensate for that baldness, they don't know where to go, but they look at the so-called white woman and pay $300 for a wig while you on the back of the bus with 3 kids pushing a stroller, on the phone with 3 dudes working at KFC, scrubbing the floor in the dark night. You got it.
And then somebody said in the chat, Moesha, right? We had Moesha to look up to. Man, Moesha was dealing with 8 different dudes at one time.
Right.
Had a positive role model in the house, her stepmother.
Right.
It always was bucking up against her.
That's right.
Hated her, man.
Right.
Man, you don't have no good Israelite role models on the TV, man.
Right.
None.
That's true.
Now men want to look at Terry Crews. He's successful. The Rock. I can't name one.
No,
I can't name one.
either.
I can't name one.
Don't have.
You got it, King.
Come, you can go to Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 2.
Con.
Is this how the Lord ordained the women to be? Not all haughty and wicked. Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 2.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 6 and verse 2.
Right?
I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
You're a loudmouth banshee.
A comely and delicate woman.
Comely and delicate woman, man. You gotta be delicate. Women want to be hard too much, man. They want to be the man.
Con.
That's not biblical. Jump to Jeremiah chapter 4 and verse 30.
Con. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 4 and verse 30.
Right?
And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do?
Right, when thou spoiled. Everybody, when they so-called in their prosperity, they have money, they got their clothes, they got riches, they got a car. They don't want to pray. They don't so-called need the Lord, right? But when you get spoiled, what you going to do then? Read on.
Though thou closest thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments.
Right, you may deck yourself with ornaments. Man, have all the precious bracelets and the rings and the nose rings. You got all the rings up going up your damn ear. Right? You got all of the toe rings and ankle bracelets. Read on.
Of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting.
You may put on all of that painting on your face, and that's what Eve do. Right? I heard a woman say, "Well, I have to put on a foundation. Then after that, I have to put on this. Then after that, I have to layer it right there." They're sitting up there painting their face like they're a damn painter, man.
Right.
You sitting up there, you go into your woman's room, so-called, and then 20 minutes later, she just getting started. She patting her face. She won't stop. She beating her up. She beating herself up. Just hitting that spot over and over. You know?
With thy face with painting in vain shalt thou make thyself fear.
Right, because that's not what it's about. It's about your spirit. You know?
Thy lovers will despise thee. They will seek thy life.
Right, because the Lord is going to give you over to a spoil. You can get 2 Kings chapter 9 and verse 30. 2 Kings chapter 9 and verse 30. So these things are vain, man. You can't put your trust in these carnal things, man. 2 Kings chapter 9 and verse number 30.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 9 and verse 30. Oh, Salakia.
Because Salakia, that's a heathenistic thing, man. Our women don't need to do that, man. When were our women in? All you need in the law is the oil to make your face shine, man. Put some oil on your beard, put some oil on your skin, and put some frankincense and myrrh on, man. That's biblical. That's in the law. All these other things that so-called naturally, not naturally enhance yourself is of the world, man.
That's right.
You don't need big fat eyelashes. You don't need all of this fake hair. You don't need all of that, man. You know?
This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 9 and verse 30.
Right.
And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it. And she,
right, when Jehu, right, a king was come to Jezreel,
Jezebel heard of it.
she heard of a man coming.
And she painted her face.
What did she do?
She painted her face.
Now hold on, what's going on here? She's so-called married. If a man is coming and she's sitting there, she getting ready for Jehu, man. That's off his head, man. That's wicked. Imagine you sitting up there, you fell asleep because you had a hard day at work, and your op was coming off to drop off your Bible to your house. Right? You sleep, and your woman in the next room, she heard he was coming. She started painting her damn face, man. That's wicked. That's evil. That's how these women of the world get down, man. Not the righteous daughters of Zion. They have to be shamefaced and submissive. Read that again from the top.
2 Kings chapter 9 and verse 30. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it.
Right, because these women, they care too much about what men think. Read on.
And she painted her face and tied her head.
So not only did she paint her face, she tied up her hair, man. Read.
And looked out at a window.
Right, and looked out the window, being promiscuous, man. So you gotta watch these, and this is a heathen, man. You gotta watch, these are the heathenistic customs, not of the righteous daughters of Zion.
That's right.
Come. Now let's go back into Leviticus 13 and let's read 30 again.
Good.
So you got leprosy of the skin. Now we're dealing with leprosy of the hair.
Good.
Right? Leviticus 13 and 30.
This is the book of Leviticus.
And the Lord called it a plague. Right? So let's read that.
Book of Leviticus chapter 13 and verse 30.
Right?
Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin,
Right?
and there be in it a yellow thin hair.
A what?
A yellow thin hair.
So you're looking on your screen right now. All these men have yellow thin hair. The Chris Browns, the Odell Beckhams, right? The Jaden Smiths, the Ciscos, the Frank Oceans. And all those guys are damn near off, man. They have they're either homosexuals or effeminate. Frank Ocean, what's this guy? Cisco, man. Odell Beckham. Dennis Rodman.
Kanye West, Golden Lords for Meteor Man. The Golden Lords.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Kanye West.
Kanye West, man. Right? So this is leprosy, man. This guy, look at this. He got a leper beard. He bugged out. Let's read on. Let's read on. Madness.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
What is blonde hair?
The priest shall pronounce him unclean.
The priest can't say, damn, that look cool, man. How'd you get that done? Wow, look at that, man. Right? I wish I had hair like that. The priest gotta hold it down and say that's unclean.
That's right.
Read.
It is a dry skull. It's like a dry scale. Even a leprosy.
Even a what?
Even a leprosy.
Right?
Upon the head or beard.
Read.
And if the priest look on the plague of the scale and behold it to be not in sight deeper than the skin.
So they got to look at it and see if this thing is going to spread or not. So if they look and see it's deeper than the skin, read.
And that there is no black hair in it.
Right? No black hair in it.
Then the priest shall shut up him that have the plague of the scale 7 days.
So he has to be shut up 7 days. Look at Eve, man. Look at this. Look. This is madness.
Crazy.
Go on.
Verse 32. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the plague.
So they got to give him 7 days because hopefully it doesn't spread, right? And it's kind of mitigated and it's shut down. So after the 7th day, go on.
And behold, if the scale spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the scale be not in sight deeper than the skin,
right?
He shall be shaven, but the scale shall he not shave,
right?
And the priest shall shut up him that have the scale 7 days more. And in the 7th day, the priest shall look on the scale, and behold, if the scale be not spread in the skin, nor be in the sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean.
See that?
But,
read on.
But if the scale spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the scale be spread in the skin, the priest shall not see for yellow hair, he is unclean.
He is unclean. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 14 and let's read let's start at Slakia 33. So that's leprosy of the hair, leprosy of the skin. Here's another leprosy.
This is the book of Leviticus chapter 14, Slakia, verse
33.
Verse 33. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, when ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession,
Right.
Salakia, for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession.
See, the Lord puts the leprosy on you. It's not an accident. It's not a bacterial infection, right? It's not bad luck. The Lord gives you leprosy, man. He even puts a spirit on you to give yourself leprosy. With that bleach in that skin, the Lord made you do that, man. And made you get that blonde hair so you can be put to death, man. There's 1,000 ways to die, and the Most High will make you choose one, man, if you're not the elect. Some are going to die by loving the oppressor. Some are going to die by being murderers, homosexuals. And the Lord puts these demons on you to get you out the way, man. Right, read on. It's like the Lord said, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house. So your house can have leprosy. Then you say, hold on, I thought leprosy. Well, we're going to show you what it's talking about. Read on.
Verse 35. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, it seemeth to be to me there is as it were a plague in the house.
That's the equivalent to mold and mildew in your house. That's the same thing. It's not talking about yellow hair growing out your house, right? Or your house growing white skin. It's mold and mildew. Now, you can even, if you get a house or you get an apartment, it's mold and mildew, that's a health concern. You breathing that stuff in, that can kill you, man. You can get real sick off of that stuff. So you have to tell the priest immediately. Otherwise, you might have kids in there. You might be dealing with that, and it can bring about all types of bacteria, man. Right? If you got an apartment, they'll have to break your lease. You see that? And sometimes it's mold deep in the wall. It might look like it on the outside. You might be able to scrub it, but it might be deep in the house. Brothers know what I'm talking about, Khan? Right? This is how you deal with it. Go on.
Verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priests go into it to see the plague.
Now look, this is mildew. The brother pulled it up. All right, we're gonna pull it up on the big screen. All right, read that again, King.
Verse 36. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priests go into it to see the plague.
So you got to empty it out, and this is a big deal, man. You got to take all your furniture out, right? You got to move your bed, because this is equivalent to now your house inspector. Right. So if your building doesn't pass the standard for health codes, they'll shut the building down. If they go in the building, they see mold everywhere, they won't be able to open up that building. They'll even call a health inspector. They may call the fire department, and they'll put that yellow tape and that big piece of paper on the damn door, and says this is shut down, health violation code 2675, man. And then you go in that place and it's mold, and I'm gonna show it on the screen. It's mold and mildew everywhere. Look at this. Mold exposure. This is leprosy in the house, man. This is sick. Right? Sometimes it might be in your bathroom because it tends to go in moisturized spots. So it might be around your tub. Oh, it's just them little black spots. You know how it is. No, brother, what do you mean how it is, man? Yeah, just paint over it, act like it doesn't exist, man. And you're breathing it in, and you're choking to death in the middle of the night. You wonder why you're going blind, and you have migraines. And you keep damn going off, man. Right? You got them, you slothful.
Sneezing out black stuff.
Yeah, because it'll bring spirits in your house. Right. You know, because you have a cursed plague. So let's read on. Look at this, man. Right? Let's go on.
That all that is in the house be not made unclean.
See that? So people have to be removed, otherwise it'll spread. And things have to be removed because it can start on the wall, then it might grow on the ceiling. Then from the ceiling, it might go to another room. So you got to check it while you can. You got to cut it off before it spread. Go on.
And afterward, the priest shall go in to see the house, and he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house.
Where you at, King? Like reverse?
Verse 37.
Come.
Start from top again. Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 37. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, with hollow streaks, greenish and reddish.
This is what you're looking at on the screen, right? That happens in houses, greenish or reddish. And you got to look detail, kind of looking, got to make sure that this thing is can be mitigated, man, before it spread. Go on.
Which in sight are lower than the wall.
And he has to check this thing. Now, even on a spiritual level, we went into this in the Monday Night Fire. You're a house, man. And you have to make sure that you don't have any plagues inside of you. And you got to look diligently inside, man. You can't say, I'm just looking, and then you just leave. Because you might miss a spot, man. Right? We all may have spots and blemishes within our house, and it's up to us to inspect it, man. And see what's inside of us that's causing us to be separate from the Most High. Go on.
Verse 38. Then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house and shut up the house 7 days.
Right? So you might have a plague. I'm breaking it down on a spiritual level as well. Right? You might find a plague within yourself. You may be slothful. You might have a lustful spirit. Right? You might have a spirit of rage or envy or whatever you're dealing with. Right? And then you notice that it's there. Now you have these 7 days. On a carnal level, why did the priest give this house 7 days, this physical house? 7 days. I'll show of hands. Why does the house shut up 7 days after they found the plague? Or that, I mean, ultimately for completion, but what is the practical purpose?
6, 7 days to come off
In a sense, so it doesn't, they want to see if this thing is going to spread or not. Right? With nobody in it. So they shut it up 7 days. So they're going to go in 7 days later and see if this thing has spread or not. But nobody could be in there. You can't be in there to see if it's going to spread. So they're going to shut it down. Right? So even on a spiritual level, you might find a plague within yourself. And you have to have time to, get right, and get your spirit right. Go on.
And the priest shall come again the 7th day and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house.
See, now it's spread, man. They came again and the plague is all over the house. Think about it on a spiritual level. You got a plague in your house. You see it's there. You got time to repent. And then the plague is spreading, man. Let's see what happens if the plague spreads on a physical level.
Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones.
That they what?
Take away the stones.
That they take away the stones. We're like, go to 1 Peter chapter 2 and 3. Right? We're likened unto stones. It might be one stone with the plague on it. If you don't take that one stone away, that's going to spread to the other stones. And we're all stones, man. If one brother got a plague on him and leaven, we may have to remove that brother because it might infect the entire body, man. So let's bring it up, 1 Peter 2 and 3.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 3. If so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom cometh as unto a living stone.
As unto a living stone.
Disallowed indeed of men.
Right, men rejected the Lord, but what?
But chosen of Yahweh.
Right.
And precious.
Read.
Ye also as lively stones.
So we're likened unto lively stones. We have been quickened through the Holy Spirit. Go on.
Are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Hamashiach Yahushua.
You see that? So if you're one of the stones in the temple that's chipped off or it's broken or it has blemishes on it or you have all these stains and streaks on you, the Lord is going to get rid of you, huh? He's not going to let his temple be defiled. He's not, okay, this stone is just defiled. I don't want to hurt the stone feelings. No, the Lord is no respected persons, man. You can't be a respected person in your house. Well, my father built this house. And he laid this stone down first. And that stone has a plague on it. Remove that stone to save the house. Go to 1 Corinthians 5 and 7 real quick. Right? 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and 7. I mean, that's the same thing. If you got cancer, don't they cut the cancer before it spreads? Sometimes they amputate body parts, man. Right? So let's bring that up.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 7. Purge out, therefore, the old leaven, that ye may be a new lump, as ye...
Read 6.
Verse 6. Your glorifying is not So your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. It might be one small little green spot in your house, and if you ignore that and turn a blind eye to that green spot, don't be surprised when that green spot is all over the wall. You have to check it, man. You have to take it serious, man. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. Right? You don't cook unleavened bread, you just leave yeast all around. Right? It's too much going, that yeast might touch it, man. So you have to be careful and strictly examine these matters, man. And we all got to see if we got spots on us, man. Because the Lord can remove any one of us, man. Because you might be plaguing the house. You might be troubling the camp, man. We might go to camp and there's 1,000 demons and every brother get put to flight. And hey, look, we're gonna figure out who's troubling the camp, right? We might cast a lot, man, and see what the lot falls on. And then it may fall on you and like, well, what the hell are you doing behind in the dark, man? Oh man, before I came to camp, I was freaking off with, I was committed adultery, right? And I'm unclean, and I dealt with you. So we're gonna get rid of that brother, huh? So we can save the brotherhood. Go on.
So okay, verse 7. Purge out therefore the old leaven.
What the Lord say?
Purge out therefore the old leaven.
Purge out therefore that old leaven. If you don't purge it out, and that means to cleanse thoroughly. When you look it up in the Greek, to purge it out, get rid of it. Right, go on.
That ye may be a new lump.
That ye may be a new lump.
As ye are unleavened. For even Hamashiach, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
That's plain. So let's go back to the law.
Or you can get Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. Right? Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. Because you'll be a fool not to let certain things go out of pride, man. A fool would not let certain things go. You got to let that thing go, man. Bring that up, man. Come on.
Book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 29. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out.
No, what if you like it?
Pluck it out.
Hey, the Lord said, pluck it out, man. Get rid of that thing, man. Whatever you so-called lusting after, you love, you don't want to get rid of. It could be pride, right? It could be a stubbornness. It could be hatred. Whatever it is, you got to check that thing at the door, man. Pluck it out and get rid of it. If you let that thing grow, you don't never want pride to grow, man.
That's right.
Because it'll be a downfall. That little one time you didn't repent, going that fast, can spur off to 7 demons overtaking you when you falling out the truth. Right. Our brother, stepping on your damn shoe can result to you falling out the truth. That's going to grow into hatred, a beef. You're going to have animosity. You're not going to act the same way. You might stop coming around. You leave the camp. You're not holding feast days no more. That I don't even know how to hold them anymore. I don't care to read. And next thing you know, man, you holding a sign on the highway, man. Yeah. Without fringes on, right? And the Lord will bug you out. Then you catch leprosy. Then you turn white as snow. Right. So you never know what can happen in this thing. You know?
And cast it from thee.
Right.
For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
Right.
And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee.
And that's hard to do for a lot of Jay, because you do everything with your right hand. You pick up the Bible, you read, you flip the pages, you cook, right? You hold your woman, right? And you may work physically at a so-called warehouse, man. It may be hard as hell just to use your left hand or any hand. Now, and your right hand can mean the most and the chiefest thing that you need the most. The Lord said, man, cut that thing off. You know?
For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell.
And through stubbornnness, a lot of men are going to be cast into destruction because they don't want to cut off the things that they admire the most, that they feel like they need.
So, like the Lord told Ezekiel, I'm paraphrasing, that he's going to take the delicate of his eye, killed his wife, man. Right. He said, you better not weep and you better not stop doing the work. Right, let's go to Psalm 51 and we can go to verse 7. Right, so we're reading about leprosy, man. Leprosy is not comely, it's not beautiful. So what you gotta do, you gotta remove it instantly, man. Right, you see mold growing on your wall, you're gonna get on the phone, you're gonna start Googling and calling people. Right, this was 30 years ago, you're gonna look in the white pages or the yellow pages to find somebody to remove it. That's what we gotta ask the Lord to do. Because every single one of us sitting in this classroom and online, We have leaven in us, man.
That's right.
You'd be a liar to say you don't. So we have to ask the Lord to remove this leaven, because a little bit of leaven is going to corrupt this whole lump, right? If the Lord said that 1 Corinthians 3:16, if you destroy the temple of the Lord going to destroy you. If you bring an unprofitable doctrine, unprofitable works, if you show up when you want to, always make excuses, if you hate your brother, if you got secret love for a brother's wife, if you freaking off in the night, the Lord is going to destroy you, right? Because what I do, you may not know, it's going to affect this brother, it's going to affect this brother, because spirits hop on to people, man, real quick, man. You ever been around somebody who was angry, and then all out of nowhere, you angry? You're like, I'm about to punch this dude in the mouth. I'm like, I don't even think like that, man. Now you angry, man. But this is what you got to ask the Lord to do.
Book of Psalms, chapter 51 and verse 7. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean.
So you got to ask the Lord to purge you, right? And getting purged is not fun sometimes, man. It's going to hurt, man. It's like a drug withdrawal, man, right? You going through something bad, you itching, you feeling for it. You looking at your phone, it's 4:30 in the morning. Your thumb is shaking, your phone in the left hand. Right? You talking about the right hand.
Right.
Right? Your phone in the left hand, you scrolling, but you got to fight it, man. You sweating. You got to purge yourself like hyssop.
And I shall be clean.
And you're going to be clean, man, once the Lord purges you, man. Right? The things you was doing before you came into this truth, the Lord purged that out of you. Now you have no desire for it. Right? Jump down to verse number 10. Or jump down to verse, well, read all the way to verse 10.
Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow.
Right?
Make me to hear joy and gladness.
So, like, and that's what the Lord told the people who had leprosy to do. Now go wash yourself in the water. Right? The Lord is washing you and getting away those icky Babylon blotches you got on your body.
That the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice. Hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities.
Right?
Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me.
I'm not sure if we touched on it, but if you got the plague in your house and it doesn't come out, what you got to do to that house? You got to destroy it, man. So you got to be destroyed. Everybody who came into this truth, you got destroyed and brought down to your lowest point so the Lord can create in you a new heart, man. You've been at your lowest point right when you came into the truth. Because the Lord not dealing with pride. He's not dealing with a proud man. You got to be on a base low level for the Lord to build you up. Right? All hell broke loose when I came into the truth, man. Everything I hold close to me, it fell apart. Right? Now I've waxed mightier and mightier and mightier through the Spirit. The same thing happened to you? Same thing happened to you? Everybody was at a base level when they came into this truth. That's the Lord creating in you a new heart, building you up after you've been washed with the hyssop, right? Making you more tried and refined in gold, man. Now you're getting built up again.
I got a quick precept. Go to the book of Joshua, chapter 7, and read verse 3. Right? Joshua chapter 7 and 3.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 7, and verse 3. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai.
Right, so they wanted to destroy Ai. It was a small city, right? Why waste the manpower to send 10,000 men? Send a few men, right? Let them cut them down. Go on.
And make not all the people to labor thither, for they are but few. So there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men.
Right, they sent 3,000 men to take this small city down.
And they fled before the men of Ai.
And our people fled. What does that sound like? Fleeing before a Hamite, huh? Go on.
And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men.
We got killed by some nasty Hamites, man. Go on.
For they chased them from before the gate even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
So our people got put to flight and put to death as we went to war. Before this time, there was no loss, no casualties amongst our armies as we went to destroy the 7 nations of the Canaanites. During this time, people died. Joshua, I'm not going to read the whole chapter. Joshua asked, he was praying to the Most High, what's going on? Why is this happening? Right? Why are people dying? Why is there a plague in the camp? Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And the Lord said unto Joshua, get thee up. Wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face?
Right?
Israel have sinned.
What the Lord say?
Israel have sinned.
Read.
And they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them, for they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
So you had secret sins going on, right? The entire congregation's being affected. We'll find out off of one individual's secret lust and sin. He got, how many men died? 36 men. You can get your 30, it's not even dead, more than 30 something people in this room right now. You can get 30 men killed with your secret sin. This is real. It actually happened, right? This is not an exaggeration. Men in this room can all die based off of your actions because we're one body, right? Let's read on.
Verse 12. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore.
The Lord won't be with any of us because of one brother's transgressions. That any of us, man, you know how selfish and wicked that is to move in that spirit? Go on.
Except ye destroy the more. Except ye destroy the accursed from among you.
You have to destroy the accursed from among you, or I will not be with you anymore, man. You might be going to camp trying to teach. Nobody's listening. Keep dealing with scoffers. What's going on? Right? The Lord said, look, you got it. This brother, things profit once you get rid of. They do that work all the time. You work a job, they fired the guys who slacking. Right? The company profit's not maxing out. They're not hitting those numbers. They want to figure out what department is going on. Okay, this happened in the damn, what's the department that worked? The HR? Yeah, well, what's a production?
Sales.
Yeah, sales, man. All right, in terms of production, they'll go and they'll check this department out and say, well, look, you guys are, something's not right. The numbers aren't adding up. So they'll go individual, they may go to the supervisor. The supervisor, they pull it up, they say, well, it's not me. Then they go to each employee one by one. And they figure out, they don't even look on camera. Right? This is what you're doing?
Break room.
Yeah, in the break room, huh?
Secret cut.
You've been in the secret break room, huh? I remember they had that movie Employee of the Month, and they would go duck off in the damn in the shelves, man. I don't know if brothers remember that, but they would go duck off on the racks and play cards, man. And no work was getting done. So they'll find out who this man is. And a so-called white man don't play around his money. He'll find you, man. Give it some time. How many people have goddamn fired over stuff like that? They keep ducking off in the bathroom, in the break room. Then they'll walk up and say, what are you doing? Right? They'll say, come to HR. HR lay it down to you. They give you that nasty brown box. Right? You know what that brown box means. You go to your cubicle, you got to put all that stuff in that nasty brown box. Everybody sees you leaving. And they say, where you going? You tell them you quit. Oh, I quit. I got no, brother, you got fired, man. Because you are causing a company to fall. That's on a carnal corporate level. How much on a spiritual level these men actually died because of this brother? Let's read. They lost their whole lives and families. Go on.
Verse 13. Up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thine enemies.
You can't stand before your enemies. Read.
Until ye take away the accursed thing from among you.
That's deep. You can't stand before your enemies until you remove the accursed thing. Let's read on.
In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes.
Yeah, let's jump down to the point. Let's jump down to verse 18. So they cast lots to figure out who it was. The lot fell upon a particular Judite. They cast about tribes. Like I said, they might do that work. They look at the departments, then they look at the supervisors, then they look at the employees. Right, go on.
Verse 18. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah of the tribe of Judah, was taken.
Found out who did it. It's millions of Israelites. You think the Lord don't know what the hell you're doing? Like you're not going to be brought in front of the congregation? This is being exposed. One-on-one. The Lord sees you. He's going to put you on blast. This man's about to be put on blast. Thought he could get away with it. Put on blast, man. Let's read.
And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory to the Lord Yahweh of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me.
That's why it's important to confess your faults, man. You still hold on to that secret sin, it can be healed through a confession. Right? And then you wonder why your house is out of order, and plagues are in your camp, or plagues are in your house, or your health is diminishing, or things keep happening to you. Because you're not giving the Most High the glory by confessing your sins. That's one way to give God glory, man. You don't have to go out there and shake the hand mightily to get the Most High the glory. You don't have to have Esau bowing down to you to get the Most High the glory. You don't have to study for 30 hours and read 30 chapters to get the Most High the glory. Simply confessing your fault and saving yourself and your household from destruction is giving the Most High the glory. Let's read on.
And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done.
He said, I went off. This is what happened. Go on.
When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonianish garment.
A Babylonianish garment over a t-shirt. Right? A t-shirt, a beater. Right? 36 men died because he wanted a white beater. Right? A Babylon, because that doesn't cover your nakedness. You know? You still exposed with a beater. So a Babylonian garment, that's a literal thing, but it's equivalent now to what? What's the equivalent on a spiritual level of a Babylonian garment? Yeah, but on a spiritual level.
Hatred.
Sin, hatred, doctrines, understanding of the other nations. Right? That's their garment that's used. That's them doctrines used to expose your it's like them doctrines to cover your nakedness. So we took the Babylonian garment, go on.
And 200 shekels of silver.
He wanted the heathen garment. He a Judite. The Most High been taking care of them, winning battles, and he fell away lusting over a heathenish garment. And they go on. Jake, you covered in the things of the world, and you secretly hide it. The Lord is going to see it. Read, or he does see it.
And 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels. Wait, then I convicted them and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth.
They are what?
They are hid in the earth.
Right?
In the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So
he hid it, man.
So that means he didn't tell nobody.
He didn't tell nobody. He didn't tell nobody knew what was going on. Right? Let's read on.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent.
Well, let's jump down. 25.
God. Verse 25. And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
Right?
And all Israel stoned him.
And what?
And all Israel stoned him.
Right?
With stones and burned.
Hold on, Salaki. No, hold on, Salaki. Read 24.
God. Verse 24. And Joshua and all Israel with him took Achan, the son of Zerah.
They took Achan, the man that did it.
And the silver and the garment.
The silver and the garment.
And the wedge of gold.
Right?
And his sons.
And his what?
And his sons.
Even his sons. Read.
And his daughters.
He might have had 5 sons, 7 sons, and 4 daughters. He was a warrior, man. Right? Read.
And his oxen.
His oxen. Go on.
And his asses. And his sheep. And his tent. And all that he had. And they brought them unto the valley of Achor.
Right.
And Joshua said, why hast thou troubled us?
A brother might be troubling us, man. Not per se us in his room, but I'm saying in general as a nation. Go on.
The Lord shall trouble thee this day.
Right.
And all Israel stoned him with stones and burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones.
Everybody died because of this man. His oxen, asses, women, sons, daughters, his oxen, right? That's equivalent to your dog dying, somebody steal your car, your woman get cancer, everything's gone. Go on.
And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day.
See that? So they stoned him and burnt him with fire. That's what happens when you're hiding things, right? Like you have to go into this house in leprosy and you can't ignore it. You can't hide the fact that you got leprosy in your house or it is spread. That's the point. Let's finish Leviticus 14. Right? Leviticus chapter 14. 14 and 39. Yeah, let's read 39. Come on.
1 point. And that's why it's important, man. As men, that one slip up you had can cause your whole family to die, man. So you gotta be on your P's and Q's when you walk in this truth as an Israelite man.
Right.
Right. That's very, very important, man.
And that's why the law is important, because the law always has a spiritual undertone behind it. So you can read it on a surface level, but then, as you grow, you can understand how it affects you and you're walking this truth, man. Right? The law is just a shadow of things to come. So this is the shadow, but it's manifested in our life with Yahweh Shah is the real thing, man. So let's read on.
Leviticus chapter 14 and verse 39. And the priest shall come again the 7th day.
So get this equivalent, get this man time to get his spirit right, but actual house will be shut off 7 days.
And shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city.
Yeah, that reminds me of Revelation, the 19th chapter. The Lord said blood was without the city, paraphrasing. So everybody that is going to die without the city, huh? Right? I mean, if you're not in this truth, that you're not amongst the children of Israel, the Jerusalem, spiritual Jerusalem on a heavenly level, then you're going to be destroyed. They take this stone and cast them out the city. Read.
And he shall.
Let me get that quick precept, King Salakia. Let's go to Revelation, the 14th chapter. That's what I want. Revelation 14 and 20.
Book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 20. And the winepress was trodden without the city.
That's the same thing, right? Why does it say without the city? Because that's everybody that's not the elect. It's not literally, okay, there's blood everywhere outside of the city of Jerusalem. No, it's speaking about us as a people. We're the city. So if you're not part of the elect, you're going to be destroyed. And blood was cast without the city. Same thing as the stones being cast without the city. Right? And the law. Read.
And blood came out of the winepress, even unto the horse bridles, by the space of 1,600 furlongs.
That's a lot of blood. It's a lot of bloodshed without the city. You don't want to be one of the stones without the city, because you're going to be destroyed, huh? So let's finish that in Leviticus 14. Winding down.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 14 and verse 40. Then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city.
Right, yeah. If he's unclean, he's fit to be with the unclean, huh? Right? You got all these demons on. Give him to the man with the, send him back in the world, huh? Go on.
And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place.
They would scrape that leprosy off of the house and take the dust and throw it out the city. They're cleaning the house. Read.
And they shall take other stones.
And they shall what?
And they shall take other stones.
The Lord don't need us, man. It's the spiritual. The Lord can get rid of us. You think, okay, it's a gap right there. All right, it is what it is. He's going to take other stones, man. Right? You know how many men fall out the truth and Lord take other stones and replace them? Every time a brother fall out the truth, he may have been one of 144,000. The Lord got to replace him with another brother, huh? So this house, the stone is removed, so the Lord got to take another stone and put it in there. Read.
And put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar and shall plaster the house.
Yeah, you make what's the plaster for? To cover it up, but to also to seal it up, to seal them in there. When you lay down bricks, you got to dip it. You might dip the other side, and then you seal it in there, right? So this is the point. So now he's being sealed within the building. This is on a spiritual level, right? Go on.
And if the plague,
This is actually happening, but we're breaking it down also on a spiritual level, right? Go on.
and if the plague come again and break out in the house, after that he hath taken away the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house, it is unclean.
You might replace the stone, and the house still has leprosy in it. There's no, you give a guy a chance to repent. You let him get his spirit right. You place a stone, and he still can't get right. So what does the Lord say? This goes into what Amos was saying.
It is a fretting leprosy,
right,
in the house. It is unclean.
Yeah, that's like they're reprobate. That's the spiritual fretting leprosy. Reprobate. Go on. Willingly off.
And he shall break down the house.
And he shall break down the house. No more giving the house a chance to get right. No more replacing stones and letting it scrape and shutting it off 7 days. Just break the house down. We can't do nothing with it. It's no good. We can't heal it. Destroy it. Go on.
The stones of it and the timber thereof and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place.
And damn, that's deep on a spiritual level.
Total destruction.
Total destruction. The stones, the wood, the timber. Don't leave it there. Put it in an unclean place. Put it without the city. Right? Read on.
Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even.
Right? Now, how would you break that down on a spiritual level? By show of hands. You go into a house that's shut up, you become unclean until the even. Right, but what does it mean on a spiritual level going into the house while it is shut up? Spirits are up on you. Right? You're dealing with a house that's unclean. Let's say this brother commits adultery. Right? I just want to go hang out with the brother, man. Right? The brother got removed from. We have stuff like that happen. We remove brothers from the congregation, right? Other brothers, because of complete madness, right? Time will fail to go into the details. Other brothers went to kick it with this brother, and now them demons hopped on them. Now them spirits hopped on them, and now they bugged out, man. So it's very important to keep yourself from the unclean thing. Like in Joshua, or you'll trouble your household, you'll trouble your family, man, and you'll trouble the nation of Israel. Come. And with that, Shalom.